Last Friday, I was lucky enough to be able to attend one of the climate strike rallies in downtown LA. Massive rallies all over the world, actually. Massive attendance too. And coming up on this Friday, there's going to be another climate strike. If you have the ability to take part, I definitely think that you should. And please bear in mind that these events, they come to us thanks to the amazing organizing work of some, in many cases, incredibly young organizers. And so that's why I'm very excited to welcome to the show Jamie Margolin, who's only 17 years old, but the founder of 0 Hour. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us, especially now. This is an incredibly important time for organizations like yours. Can you tell us about 0 Hour?
Yeah, so 0 Hour is a youth climate justice organization. We started in the summer of 2017. Initially, I had the idea of a massive youth climate mobilization, but I didn't know how to make it happen. I didn't know what to do. And what I did, so I posted on Instagram. This was right after Hurricane Maria. This is right after these massive wildfires that blew over my home city of Seattle, completely covering my city in smog, making me sick, and making my friends with respiratory illnesses sent to the ER. So I posted on social media, I'm going to organize a youth climate march. Who's with me? This was in the summer of 2017. A few kids got back to me, and over the course of that year, we organized 25 youth climate marches to take place on July 21st of 2018, and they were a massive success. 0 Hour movement expanded. We had many youth mobilizations demanding for urgent action on climate change because this is 0 Hour to act. We have no more time. And after that, a month later, Greta Thunberg started her school strike, and then we were continuing to organize around the strikes, but also we organized a youth climate Action Summit on July 21st of 2018. On July of 2019 in Miami, Florida, to train many young people to be climate justice activists there. And we've just been continuing educating, and we're a network and powerhouse of young people, mostly young women in high school, organizing and building for a better world.
So I'm curious, you got involved in this effort, as you pointed out, around the same time that there were some other people in a similar sort of position in their life, starting organizations or going it alone, in Greta's case. And since 2017, it seems like there's a lot more discussion around climate change. There's a lot more interest in these movements. I am very cynical on this topic. I fear that the politicians will they'll clap, but they won't necessarily do anything. Yeah. So I'm curious, how optimistic are you? Are you afraid of this moment, sort of cresting and then eventually falling away? What do you think is likely to happen?
So the organizing and the work is never going to crest and fall away, because we've been doing this for years and years, and we will continue doing this for years and years. My worry is whether the media and politicians will continue to actually pay attention, because we have always been here. We have always been organizing, and we will continue to organize when the cameras are off. But we need the cameras to stay on in order for the general public and people to completely understand and to take action. My other fear is that 0 Hour just spent an entire 3 days nonstop before the climate strike in Capitol Hill lobbying and talking to leaders. We met for an hour with House Leader Nancy Pelosi. We met with the wonderful Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. We met with many different offices. And I testified before Congress. And, people will come up to me and they'll say, great job. They'll be like, very great speech, very moving. And they'll call us inspiring. But then they won't actually act, and then they won't actually take any legislative action or anything from there. So my worry is that it's just empty words.
I think that's a very justified worry. I can't speak for all of the media, but I pledged a long time ago that it doesn't matter if every video I do on climate change gets 1/10 the interest of any other topic. I'm going to keep doing it,
Exactly.
and hopefully it'll make a difference to the extent that we can. For your organization, what would you say are some of your core demands?
So our core demands, well, first of all, are addressing the root systems of oppression that caused the climate crisis in the first place. So addressing the colonialism, racism, and unchecked patriarchy and capitalism that is really at the root of this climate crisis. And that seems very strange to people. It seems like overly progressive, like Fox News' worst nightmare, like the exact archetype of what a snowflake liberal would be talking about, but these aren't things that I enjoy talking about. This is just the facts. The truth is that the climate crisis started really with colonization. That idea that everything is for our extraction, that everything is for sale, that everything can be bought and sold, including our fellow people and the land that we depend on. And so that mindset and that way of living really started when I say modern capitalism, I think business and trade and things like that have always been good. I'm talking about that modern like mega corporations on steroids, owning everything, abusing people, abusing the earth, and not being checked. That's what I'm talking about when I say capitalism, because Breitbart will freak out and be like, she wants to start the communist revolution. Calm down. No, I don't. But it's just like we have to address this. And right now our current economic system is set on a trend where we just have constant growth, and our earth just can't sustain that. And then another concrete demand. So those are like at the roots of what we're demanding. And so right now our current most concrete demand, we're behind, supporting for a Green New Deal and bringing about the era of the Green New Deal, not as an end all be all, but as a very important step in the right direction. And also, divesting our government and divesting politicians from the fossil fuel and animal agriculture industries, because the biggest thing that is stopping them from taking action to protect their lives and futures is really just they owe the animal agriculture and fossil fuel industry so much. So then they don't really have a big check on them when they go turn around and destroy the Amazon rainforest and my life and future.
Yeah, it is a diverse coalition of corporate interests that are fighting both explicitly and behind the scenes against this sort of movement. If people would like to get involved in your organization, what should they do?
So you should go to thisiszerohour.org, where you can sign up, become a part of the movement. It really depends. Like for young people, you can follow us on social media at thisiszerohour. Actually, anyone can, but you can follow us there and send us a message in our social media bio. We have a link right now. We have a new campaign called Getting to the Roots of the Climate Crisis. Or hashtag Get to the Roots, where we, it's not new. We've been doing this for a year, but we recently announced the scale up at the UN Youth Climate Summit the other day. And so we're training young people to be climate justice ambassadors to address the root systems of oppression of climate change in their communities and educate their peers. So you can go to at This Is Zero Hour on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter to join that campaign, and also to stay updated for our other campaigns, marches, and initiatives. And then for anyone, you can go to thisiszerohour.org for more information to read our platform, and thisiszerohour.org/donate to please donate to us, because we are a completely volunteer-run organization that relies on grassroots donations up against a very literally well-oiled machine with the deepest pockets in the world. I always call the fossil fuel and animal agriculture industries the most well-funded criminal enterprises in the world. Like the fossil fuel industry is a very well-funded criminal enterprise, and that's all they are.
With a quote like that, you might end up on Laura Ingraham tonight. We'll have to see. Jamie Margolin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.